Been on 4 or more missions. Don't need many chefs all inside of my kitchen. Took too many breaths to be lined by my living. Never been so blind to deny that they living. Talking parasites who devise this weak system. Mine's been retwisted. Locked inside of cages to find they fell victim to lies they've been given. And die while being Christian. Smoke a little Buddha, but right, they ain't living. Your time is too precious. You can't make that up. I've been moving. Never relate to those who live life.
Peace. This is Borderline, Terry Borderline, and this is the first They Liv podcast. I'm chilling here with your boy Forte.
Yo, check me out, Forte in the building.
And I'm Sassy. Hey, sister girl over here.
Hello, I'm Merlinda.
Yeah, and we're gonna just kick it, talk about some topics, maybe play some music, shoot the shit and talk about different things that have gone on in our lives, in our day-to-day, topics that are going on in the public, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
current events, music, maybe some gossip, some facts, some history.
Yeah,
we're just trying to get into it. We out here living, and there's others opposing forces that are living too, so we're over here to just hash it out and give y'all a nice little peek into the conversation. And hopefully you guys maybe can join us later down the road and help, contribute to it.
Yeah. The name They Liv, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie They Liv. Have you seen They Liv yet? Because you didn't come to the movie. Yo,
John Carpenter.
Yeah. So, Mer's notorious for not coming to movie nights, but that's besides the point. They Liv is a movie that's basically, it's a classic, a cult classic. It's basically about these two dudes, a white dude, a black dude, who are both like working class men in like a super capitalist society that is like very like
America.
Yeah. Like the world we live in today. It's like 1984 or like Brave New World type shit, if you ever read those books. But it's like dystopian future type shit, right? And it's all 80s out because it's an 80s movie. He eventually finds glasses. He puts the glasses on. And when he puts the glasses on, after he finds his glasses after some like Illuminati elite meeting or something like that. When he puts these glasses on, he notices the world has all these aliens, and it's ran by a bunch of aliens that he didn't.
Remember, it was the blind black dude from the church who had there was a revolutionary group that had the boxes with the glasses. So if you watch They Liv, I like to look at the glasses as your third eye. Yeah, the glasses would kind of remind me of representation.
Oh, that makes sense. That's why it's visual.
Right, so you can see, you cut through the BS and see what it really is.
People's spirits type thing.
Type
their bones.
They're the bones and stuff. But
there was no soul. There was bones.
Yeah. And it was very symbolic how the glasses were in the basement of the church. Even though I'm not a religious person, it really gave me a lot of
when you think about it, right?
You can do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, but I'm just building on what you're saying, which is that every major religion has its own sect of super elites that hold information that the rest don't know. Whether it's the Vatican for Christians, or you know what I'm saying, how they have the covenant of the
Buddhist
Ark
monks
for the Buddhist monks. You know what I'm saying? You have these closed off sects. So when you think of the basement in the church, it's you think on top of the church people are going there to praise Jesus, but underneath the church, the people who are the priests and whatnot, they're meeting down there with the businessmen and the Illuminati people and the
clergymen.
The clergymen.
People in the city, maybe.
Yeah.
So basically what They Liv. So what else happened in They Liv after he felt
he gets the glasses.
Well, don't ruin the movie.
Oh no, they already passed it. If you haven't seen the movie, if you haven't seen the movie.
It's about how it happens, right? Not what happens, right? When people watch it, they're gonna get it. But when he puts the glasses on, right? It's kind of like his third eye unlocking. He sees all the ads are turn into what they really mean. So like if you're looking at an ad that says got milk, it's gonna say consume, right? You look at an ad that says that's like a model, is when he has the glasses on, it says sex, have sex, reproduce, or whatever. And so he realizes like, yo, I live inside this society that's programming me by these aliens who are running this shit that's programming us, and they can like rule us as like slaves. So this guy goes crazy. Like literally, he goes like nuts. Like
he starts knocking people out.
Yeah.
Gets a shotgun, comes into like a bank and just starts shooting motherfuckers. Like
okay. And another thing about They Liv, this dude speaks in one-liners. The dude just literally speaks in straight up one-liners.
So if you know even like the famous line from Big L, what
bubblegum?
Yeah, the bubblegum. All I got for girls is
hard dick and
bubblegum, right? That's a play on the line from They Liv, where he's like, I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Like, yo, like, it's those types of one-liners, you know what I'm saying?
That shit was
and it's
God.
like, yeah, man, it's a classic. So, like, this whole thing is supposed to, like, play off that, where it's like, you know, we help open people's third eye, we talk about all these different things, and we deal with like, really what's underneath it all, you know? Because it's like, you know, it's just real rap raw. You know?
As you can see, you get the incense poppings, you know, and you get the vibes right. Which is definitely another.
Really good small bomb too.
Yeah, lavender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it.
Check your corner store, the bodega, say, hey.
Right, Amazon. Get sponsored by Amazon before we even say Amazon.
Right. So, for those who are questioning and wondering what this is, like, check out They Liv, and you might get a taste of why it inspired us to do this cast and just have these conversations. Because, you know, as we know, like, time is cyclical, you know. And if you know your past and you stay present, you'll be able to predict your future, you know. So, with that, I feel like conversations that we're going to spark and conversations that people already have already, I feel like we could bring to the forefront and kind of give people that platform to share their piece.
No, that's facts. I mean, that's why even like, you know, the movie night, not to bring it back to Murder though, but like the movie nights that we did throw, like the whole idea was like there's a lot of movies that are filled with all these like ideas and concepts that literally, like, some of them are taken directly from the past, right? But then a lot of them predict the future, right? That's the predictive programming, where it's like, how many movies did they have out there with smartphones and FaceTime and Wi-Fi before all that shit even existed? Internet, all that shit. We didn't peep it. Star Trek Ben had that shit. They had iPads, iPhones. They just didn't call them iPads and iPhones, you know? And it's like, when you pay attention to those things, it makes watching movies that much more fun. Because it's like, okay, I can actually really learn something here. I don't just have to like eat food, get high, whatnot, even though that's mad fun too. But it's like, you know, like, you get to really have a learning experience with the shit that you consume for entertainment and whatnot, you know? I feel like we need more movie nights like that, you know? With some cool ass shit too. Not like, you know, and I love Harriet Tubman, the Harriet Tubman documentary or something like that. Like, nah, let's watch, like, Django, and then, like, let's see how it relates to what Harriet Tubman been through, and, like, what they're predicting for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, the insight that I'm seeing, like, you know, because what we do see as entertainment can be educational. We just have to perceive it differently, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, movies are taken from, like, real-life experiences, real-life things that are about to come or have already happened or whatever. Like, as the craziest things you could even imagine. You know, even, like, iRobot, like, all the robots take over. You think that's not possible now?
And now we're surrounded by robots.
Like, we got robots everywhere.
Like, hey, Alexa. Hello,
people,
Google.
even, like, you know, hospitals and whatnot, they have all machines now. Like, everything's, like, electronic. There's no papers. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm trying to save papers, save the world. That's great. And the world's really being taken over by this technology, for real, because we didn't have internet and cell phones and all these things beforehand, and we weren't so distracted by them either. So it was like a whole new thing. You had to get your information by going to people and be like, hey, like, did you hear about this? Or actually, I was reading in this book.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and that.
But now we're more connected through the cloud.
Right.
We have this cloud thing, which I feel like it's weird. It's like like we're tapping into the ether.
Ether,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? When you think about 5G and all these wireless like technologies. Like, yo, how do these things really work? Especially when we hear about a lot of the effects that 3G and 4G might have had on us, that they're still like seeing like effects, and they're just trying to push this 5G on us.
I like to think of it like, sorry to interrupt. Are you done?
No, good.
Yeah, I like to think of it a lot like glasses, right? Where it's like, right, glasses are very much based a lot on our eyes, right? Just like the internet and all that is based off of like our mind, our consciousness, and how we connect with other people and shit like that. And so it's like, the more you use this thing called glasses, right, your eyes don't actually heal themselves. They get worse. They get dependent on the glasses. Like, because I've been wearing glasses my whole life. It's why I'm still blind, you know? So, like, when you think of, like, all these technologies that are based off of our minds and our consciousness and whatnot, it makes us tap less into what we do already, naturally, because we become dependent on social media.
And is that why,
you know,
we have smartphones, but we're not getting that smarter?
Shit, for real.
I mean? Like, I be talking to, like, young, I don't want to seem like the old nigga either. Like,
yeah.
But, like, I be talking, but I be talking to, like, some young folks that I see so much potential in, like, sparks, you know what I mean, in them. But then I see there's, like, this lack of guidance that I saw in myself when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, damn, where's, I need to be the person I had missing in my life for these people now.
Yeah.
It makes you take a little bit more social responsibility.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess around too much. Now I'm seeing it, it's like, dude, like your actions really do affect that young woman who's looking up to you. You know, same for you, man. Same for you. You know what I mean? You have a bunch of people watching this now, and I'm like, what are they watching? What can we give to them?
Right.
The kids are always watching.
Perhaps.
You know?
They probably consume more than we could ever think about consuming. You know what I mean? And they're like multitasking with it at the same time.
Right.
They'll consume and do things at the same time.
Yeah.
But then it makes me think about what you're saying about like the lack of brain activity. Because then when it gets down to putting these things down, and then the young people have to do this, I see a lot of weird like interactions, like just like weird social cues and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, it was good, y'all. Just chill out, yo. Like, just chill out. Don't worry about it being on Instagram tomorrow or on Snapchat.
Right.
Or like, you know what I mean?
Anxiety is like one of the
Yeah.
number one problems these days.
Yeah.
So many people have anxiety, and it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why? You can blame it on this. You know what I'm saying? You can blame it on that. Where it's like, you know, people are consistently like when they are even challenged or confronted with something that they have to confront or they don't want to, you know, they're like, how do I go to my phone? You know, and that's why even like you go to the club or something like that. It's mad people just showing on their phone like, hey, I'm in the club. They're not interacting with anybody else in the club. It's like, why'd you go to the club? You know what I'm saying? Like
to
just
show that you're lit. Like you gotta
I'm
look.
drinking.
Right.
I'm turking.
Yeah.
And I feel it. You know, it's good to have fun with your people.
Oh hell yeah.
I think there's
The
this
memories.
this lack of like I don't know, like I guess accountability when it comes to this stuff, like social media. I was watching a Breakfast Club interview. Shout out to them. You know, I mean, they contribute a lot to the culture and whatnot. Yeah, they got some problematic things. But
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're all imperfect.
But regardless, they had this dude that was I forgot his name. When I remember, I'll let y'all know. But he was a digital. He talked about digital fasting or whatnot. He was basically
That's deep.
When I remember the book, I'll definitely remind you because I feel like it's something that all of us could really take, implement in our own. Hello. We can implement in our own lives as far as monitoring our social media use, which affects our mental health. And these are two big things that are prevalent in our everyday lives, regardless if we want them to be or not. You know what I mean? How many times a day do we bump into people who have mental health issues or on social media?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I like to think about the anxiety and the depression and then the present, right? Because I think about, I call it depression, present, anxiety. Because I remember a quote that somebody told me, like, if you're thinking in the past, you're going to get depressed. If you're thinking about the future, you're going to get anxiety. If you're present, you're right here.
Yeah.
You're right here with me.
Yeah, peace.
That makes so much
You're
sense.
centered.
I'm
I'm
telling
like,
you, once you say that.
Bruh.
And this is a good segue to talk about like yesterday, right? We went to Oompa's listening party for our album.
Shout out to Oompa.
Shout out to Oompa, right? Crazy album.
Right.
Classic.
Y'all better go on Saturday. This is shown before Saturday.
Yes,
Y'all better go to a show this Saturday.
Yeah,
August 10th at the Sinclair, right?
She had an amazing song about mental health, mental illness, her own, struggles and battles with it. Yo, that shit inspired me. Yo, I was this close to crying in front of everybody else. I'm like, yo, Terry, don't get in your feelings right now.
Hey, it's okay, bro.
Yo, yo, but it was that good. It was that good, and it's like, artists need to be more vulnerable. I mean, I understand it's tough, but then what she did, it was such a breath of fresh air. Such a breath of fresh air where it's like, yo, that the turnip shit's good and all, but like, yo,
shout out to
Migos. Talk about how your grandma passed and how it affected you. Talk about how your baby moms is giving you trouble and that wakes you up at night and type shit. Like how you learn to be the person you are today. Really teach people about your struggles and how you get through them. Let them know who you are as a person, and that really like helps connect people. Cause that's what I felt yesterday. Like I felt like I learned more about Oompa in that album than I've known her for like, how long have we known her? 4 years? 5 years?
I can't remember if it was like 2015 or 2014.
Yeah, 4 years. Like four or five years.
Either way.
I like to. I don't want to cut you off, but I definitely want to interject and piggyback on what you were saying as far as artists being more vulnerable, because I feel like that kind of made me frustrated. And like, it's just like when I hear that and I'm like, yo, I'm feeling like that's standard.
Yeah.
As an artist, you should be being vulnerable.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Where do we come to a point where artists aren't vulnerable anymore?
It depends on why you're getting involved with music in the first place. Are you doing it to connect with people? Are you doing it to connect with yourself? Are you doing it to make money? Are you doing it to get plays? And all of those don't necessarily need to intersect. So.
That makes me alright. So it's like, so does that probably where music in general, but more so hip hop, is that where it got real messed up? Not even messed up, but just diversified.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I mean, I've been learning a lot about like where hip hop had its downfall, and I think it ties even like into like labels, and certain labels like literally treating it like a chess game and taking certain rappers out that we already know are lit. Like the Method Mans, the Red Man, DMXs, all that stuff, and then giving, you know what I'm saying, the them franchise boys a deal, and you know what I'm saying, the Trinidad Jameses and D4Ls, like, you know what I'm saying, there was a shift.
Oh my God.
And that's why that's why you notice a huge movement for the indie. Where it's like, yo, when real niggas realized, yo, we can't get it with the labels, they were like, yo, we gotta get it independently. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, a lot of the people that we fuck with now, whether it's like Boogie or Joyner Lucas or
Nip,
whatever, before they got signed, they were all independent, and they were independent for a while because they had to do it that way.
We're just talking about Benny the Butcher. Benny the Butcher, he was 18 when he started rapping. He's 33 now?
Yeah.
That's a long time, bro. Yeah. A lot of people wouldn't put in that work. They don't understand the consistency and the persistence that you need to really like wear this music game. Because if you think about the people that we emulate, like the Hoves, even Michael Jackson, goddammit. People forget Michael Jackson had a whole bunch of songs that didn't hit. Yeah. When he was from Little Michael to where we knew him from like Thriller and shit, there was a whole gang of songs that did not hit.
It's like Jesus' lost years.
Literally. Yo! Real talk. And if you think like, and then I think because me and my boy, Fireman, King Fire, he's another artist out in Cambridge. You check him out.
Yes.
Oh,
we
Fire.
was
Shouts to Fire.
We were talking. He bring me in one day. I was at his house chilling, and we were watching this documentary on Michael Jackson and Prince, right? And it made me think about Michael a little bit more because I'm a real Michael Jackson fan, you know what I mean? Until then. Not to say I'm not a fan anymore, but it made me rethink what I appreciated about him, you know what I mean? Because then I started seeing what Prince was doing. I'm like, wow. I see why there was this like little tension between Prince and Michael. Yeah. Because while Prince was making a couple hits, Michael was cold, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it kind of gave Prince's headway to be that guy in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like you also look at the fact that like MJ, he was more of the like, I'm at an award show, and that's where I'm being all righteous and revolutionary. Whereas Prince, he didn't care if you knew or didn't know. He did shit. Like, he did a lot of shit for artists, for artists, just in general. Period. Like, he was a huge
artist advocate.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons people can be independent like they are today. Facts. He was the artist formerly known as Prince.
Right. He
for
turned
how many
his name
years
into
a symbol.
That ain't gangster, man. Only he nutted up on his IP. He said, "Yo, give me my IP, cuz." If you don't know what IP is, folks, it's intellectual property.
Yeah.
Get up on it, study it, because if you want to do this creative thing, you should definitely know what your intellectual property is and how you can use it for your benefit. And you know what I mean?
And get an IP lawyer.
Yeah, straight up. Flip that creativity into a bag, because you got to capitalize on yourself. You can't let the system capitalize on you. Straight up.
And you can get one pro bono. Search up what pro bono means. That's
that on the sleeve.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. That's why I fuck with Prince. And it's like one of those things where it's like, even bringing up Michael Jackson, Prince, right? This is the moment that even gets me a little emotional. It's like both of those people passed. Right? You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, rest in power. And it's like, there's so many artists I'm listening to nowadays. And it's like, yo, this person passed, that person passed, Nipsey passed, Mac Miller passed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, damn, like Fife passed. You know what I'm saying? Yo, there's a lot of like, we don't realize how much people who are dead influence us in our lives and what we do on a day-to-day basis. This table could have been made by somebody who passed already. Like, we don't think about that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Which is why it's like, even which like makes music so like magical and like only like very visceral and like spiritual.
Yeah.
It's like a person is breaking off a piece of themselves and like putting it into this denser form for you to enjoy when you feel something for eons past.
Forever. You can always hear Mac Miller's voice just by playing his music.
It makes me think there's like a big sacrifice when you're doing that. You know?
Yeah.
So that's why I urge artists to really take control of your artistry, because you're bearing your soul for everybody to like.
Yo, so a gem that I was thinking about earlier today. Speaking of artists bearing their soul, right? Artists put their soul on their music, right? That's why a lot of music is called soul music, right? And so that's why a lot of artists be butting heads with each other. Like, it clicked to me finally, right? People was like, oh, how come nobody, unity and Boston artists need to work together? It's like, yo, how many people are you gonna let interact with your soul? Working with another musician, knock on wood, is like fucking. It's like having sex, because it's like, yo, when you share your soul with somebody through intercourse and whatnot, there's a lot of vulnerabilities that go on there. Music is like another part of your soul in the same way sex is. When you get on a song with somebody, you're saying, yo, I'm putting my soul on this record with you forever.
That's if you're a real one.
Yeah.
If you're a funny artist who's just doing it for looks, you're gonna get that superficial flush.
But then that person's being superficial with their soul in general.
Sheesh.
You see how that works? You see how that works? No matter what, your soul is connected to the music. If you're being superficial with your art, you're being superficial with your soul. You know what I'm saying? You're being too open with your art, you're being too open with your soul. That's the reason some artists' music gets diluted and fucked up. Like Kanye, when they're not allowed to have their soul be free, you know? Yeah, I was thinking about that heavy last night.
Nah, I feel that. That hits different.
Yeah.
It even makes me think about collaborations that you look at that you're just like, why did you collab like that? Like, is this a money grab? And then you see the collabs that just feel right, like the Daniel Caesar and her.
Right.
You know, that was just like.
Or the Brandy Blaze and Oompa. Oh my
God,
that video was crazy.
It's very like organic. It just felt good.
Right.
Like, y'all should have done that or something.
And then it makes sense of the other ones where it's like, you know, like a good example is let me think of a quick one. It's like Kendrick Lamar and Nas. Like, how come Kendrick Lamar and Nas never made a song together? But it's like, yo, their souls probably just don't click. Nas don't want his soul forever being intertwined with Kendrick's soul, bro. That's their soul inside their music. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense now. And then it's like, oh, okay, I understand. And that's selling your soul in music. It makes sense. It makes way more sense now. When you start to sell your soul, that's when it gets diluted.
Oh, and you can see the price too. You'll see the price, yo.
Yeah.
Like
how much did they pay? Oh,
I remember. quick game I got. Man, shout out to my man Fire once again. He knew somebody who got signed to an artist that I don't want to put his name. Kind of salty, but it was an actual like artist contract, and I'm looking at the terms and agreements and whatnot, and I see the territory, right? So when they say territory, that means where this contract is being able and enacted. You know what I mean? So like if you're on if the contract says territory USA, this contract holds firm in the USA. If you go out of the USA and try to break something that's in the breach of this contract, you're straight.
Okay.
The music contract I saw, the territory said universe.
He said universe.
Damn,
no cap.
Right?
It said
that's
universe.
honestly,
tell me that's not bearing. You're selling your
scary.
soul.
That's
Wow.
And then you read the terms and conditions.
Wow.
It was like, oh, any music you make is ours. Anything you do is ours. Anything ours.
Nah, bro.
Ours.
That's
not a
wild.
360
Ours.
deal. That's like a 1,000. That's like a million deal. Like, bro, you ain't getting out of that, bro.
That made me sick, bro, and it makes sense why
That's
like
crazy.
a lot of these young cats get okey doked into, you know what I mean, thinking that they coming up when it's like, nah, bro, you getting the short end of the stick, my guy. You know what I mean? You don't see the longevity with, like, they try to play on people who are short-sighted.
The universe.
Yeah, man, that kind of gave me like goosebumps when I seen that. I'm like, oh, okay. Really look at what you're signing before you sign it.
Sign it.
That's
yeah.
a fact. That's a fact. That spooked me out, bro.
They could just literally write the cosmos.
Yeah, like straight up.
like,
And it's like this
for,
is
all
where like
eternity.
this is
Like,
where I started to think about like contracts, right?
Yeah.
Like the history of contracts, like what the fuck. When you
Yeah.
thought of like, let me sign this and bind this person that they supposed to pay.
Communist.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, even like, what is the significance of somebody signing the paper with a pen to make it that much more viable for you to do something if they break it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
There's a story on that.
What?
It's Thoth, right? Thoth invented writing. I'm a Gemini, right? So I know that Thoth. Gemini is related to Thoth, Tahuti, all that stuff. Shout out to my Geminis. But Thoth invented writing, and I forgot who was the other dude who told him not to do it. There was a guy who told him not to do it.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, don't do it. Thoth was like, why? And he was like, yo, if you write, then why would anybody have any reason to remember anything? This book is doing it for them. It goes back to the glasses thing and the internet. That's what writing is to us too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Writing is all these thoughts and messages that think for us, kind of. You know?
Ooh, but you know, it makes me think. Oh, we're gonna get real crazy here. We're gonna get real crazy, guys.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking right now. Remember when we learned that the thought is the fastest thing in the universe?
Yeah.
Thought is the fastest thing, and then if you're putting that thought on paper, isn't that like writing a spell? You spelling, and it's like all these little like, I guess like intersecting like just like things that just connect so crazy.
Yeah.
It makes you think.
Yeah, there's layers to it. And if you go back to even music, right? Songwriting, you're writing a lot of these spells, you're putting it into audio form, you're putting your soul into it. It's a whole goddamn ritual, bro. Every time we make music, bro. Every time we make music. You know, that's what makes it magic. You know?
That's how that aspect we talk about when, you know, whatever message you put into your music is really important because it will come true. So if you're talking about, you know, I'm about to get locked up, shoot this in the face and da-da-da. Alright, I'm gonna see you in jail in a few years type thing. And you did shoot that in, or you got shot, whatever. You manifested whatever it is. And that's why even people, maybe I would say like Beyonce. Beyonce started being more and more empowered. And look it. She's become more and more empowered.
Yeah.
In her music, like Lemonade,
not
I think
talking
it
about
started
her
with, you know what I
body's too
mean?
bootylicious.
And it just went whoop.
Her
Like
body was too bootylicious. It was too bootylicious. We weren't ready for the jelly. We weren't ready.
But for real, that happens. That aspect is really, it's absolutely a spell.
Even yo, R.I.P. to my guy Mac. You could hear his cry for help, even if it wasn't a cry for help.
No, it was a cry for help. He had plenty of songs where he said like, "Yo, I'm like, you know, getting lost in this type shit." You know, like
it's like I'm rich, but I still feel like empty type lyrics. And I'm
Lyrics,
like, damn, dude, like Mac, you got everything, bro. Like, yo, you like. you think about it, like people who, I'm getting chills thinking about it because I remember watching his TV show on MTV and be like, I would do the same thing, man. I would have all my bros come through, at a studio, just chill and all that. So we really like show the generation of kids like, you can do this. You can really like focus up and get your peoples on. And stuff, you know what I mean? Especially a small kid from Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? Link it up with Wiz and Rostrum and all that. It was just dope to see. Dope to see a dude do that, you know what I mean? Regardless if he was a white dude or not, because I know a lot of dudes like think, he's a white boy. Nah.
Yo, Mac Miller is a good blueprint of how to be a white rapper in hip hop and be respectful of the culture, be respectful of the people, be respectful of the art, and leave an impact and legacy that lasts for generations, bro.
That's a fact.
He's in hip hop history, bro.
That's a fact, though.
You heard it here first. A lot of people will be pissed off at me. His legacy, I think, is gonna last longer than M's.
Boom! I was just thinking that in my head.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yo,
that's like, quite the discussion there.
I know you disagree. I know you disagree, man. I know you disagree.
Shlomo's like, nah.
The reason why they're laughing is because I have literally been an M fanatic since like 2000.
No, don't get me wrong. Like I love M technically. I love M technically. You know what I mean? Like,
I can understand why I could be a little problematic.
I think with Mac, it was just more. It was closer to my gen. You know what I mean? It was like Eminem was a little bit far removed.
Closer to your soul type thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean. When we was younger, we heard Marshall Mathers, and he was saying stuff that I didn't really know was going on, but it sounded ill. The rhyme patterns and the flows was tight. But then when he was talking about killing his moms and what the time, I was like, you kind of mad, bro.
I don't think it ages as well. Like I listened to Frozen Pizza, Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza the other day. That aged beautifully. That shit almost gave me tears. I'm like, yo, Young Mac. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I remember when that shit first came out. And then it's like, you listen to Cleaning Out My Closet by M. It don't give you that feeling, bro. It's like,
I'm sorry, mama.
I'm from the It's like, yo, like, I'm sorry, man. I know
you don't have to apologize.
Hey, it's subjective, man.
The emotion just ain't there, though. The emotion's just not as there.
Yeah, but what if it's just not? Yeah, for you guys.
I was saying I can't say the emotion's not there.
It's a different type of emotion.
Like I said, it's subjective to every individual because some people don't like to be in certain modes. You know what I mean? Some people like to revel in certain modes. Yeah. And they can get some going. You know what I mean? I remember there was a time where Eminem got me going. I'd listen to Renegade and be like, yo, let's go, cuz. Like, he was going in, bro. Like,
I like White America, too. White America's hard. White America.
But think of Eminem, God 27.
That's what I was thinking about saying, but I thought it would be a little too insensitive. I'm like, if we also think about the date and, in the age of passing, like,
you know what?
He definitely would have been
at his prime.
You know what? If he had dropped then, I would appreciate him way more than I do now.
You're right.
Not to say I don't
like
that.
Because every year a fake Eminem is dead story comes out every year.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I not to delve into that, but I noticed it's around the same time I'm doing my own separate research on that. Because too many times have I woke up to this foul ass. Y'all never heard him. People, because I love him, people will text me. I'm like, yo, y'all, you guys have to do your research before you send this shit. I thought Eminem was dead like at least 3 years.
There is something about the fake deaths though, because there was a couple different. So they said Avril Lavigne was killed and cloned.
Yo, what?
They said Miley Cyrus was killed and cloned.
And Gucci was cloned.
Was killed and cloned. They said, you know what I'm saying? Eminem was killed and cloned. Yeah. Like there's rumors like these going around every year, consistent.
Okay, I've heard
we
that.
already know about Kanye.
What is that rapper?
Though Kanye is the closest one that I could actually believe. Like, y'all see that Black Mirror episode with Miley Cyrus?
Yeah.
They were literally showing what they did to Kanye, bro. Like, they showed it, bro. Yo, they had Homegirl in a machine. You know Black Mirror, they all technology that in a machine. They like sedated her into a coma, and then they tapped into her brain so then they could electronically use her voice and make music from her mind without her consent. Bro, it's fucked up shit. And they poisoned her to get her into the
hospital
thing.
in the first place.
Mind you, you know what I'm saying? Miley Cyrus, she's a pop star. She's in the industry. So it's like, come on. The girl who was like her handler, very Kris Jenner like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, like, she's saying something with this. There's no way. Black Mirror always has a message every. They don't just make shit up.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? They had a whole episode about those dogs that they have at Boston.
The Boston
thing.
MIT,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You think that shit's fake until you search it up and you're like,
It's
oh shit,
real.
that shit's real.
I mean, even with cloning, I thought it was like a little far fetched until I was working as I was working as like a assistant for this carpenter, right? His wife was a geneticist, and he was telling me like, yeah, I always tell my wife, I joke around and say to clone me, but she said, why would I do that? I don't even like you now. So that's another story, but like. It was. He told me, he confirmed. He's like, yeah, you can clone things. You can clone people. It's not legal, but you can clone them. And then it made me think about Dolly the sheep. I was like, yo, you know when we was younger, they said, oh, we cloned the sheep. I was like, whatever happened to that sheep? Whatever happened to that?
Probably butchered and they're selling it to people. We eating cold meat now.
Right. Meat and Impossible
man.
Burger. Yo, you just reminded me of some shit in Japan, and I think it's Japan. They're making human-animal hybrids with clones. They're
Oh yeah, you shared that article on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook. Yeah,
and that right there reminds me of another contemporary movie nowadays. Sorry to bother you, which I don't want to spoil anything. If you didn't see the movie, I'm gonna spoil it right now. So just divert it, mute it, or whatever. But
hint, it's about workhorses.
Oh, I did, yes.
Yeah.
You seen that? Okay.
Yeah.
So it basically showed a lot about that, which is like. So in terms of They Liv, right? And was it John Carpenter who made it? Sean or John? I know it's a famous film.
No, it's not Stanley Kubrick. Right?
No, it's Carpenter. The last name's like Carpenter. He's a famous filmmaker. But regardless, I digress. With the film industry and just like what you was talking about, predictive programming and whatnot. You know, it really makes me think like you guys are shelling out millions and hundreds of dollars to make these productions. I'd assume that you guys would go over with a fine-tooth comb on how's it going to be rendered, every little detail.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to be as naive to think that they wouldn't even slip any type of messaging. John Carpenter. Boom. But shout out to John. Right. But like, it would be remiss for me to think that they didn't slip in their own advertisements or promotion.
Of course.
Or any type of agenda, you know what I mean? You see all them rolling credits at the end of the film. They have to pay all those people.
I mean, I have a theory, 1,000%. That's why Disney is as big as it is. Okay. Disney is the biggest propaganda machine there has ever been. And they're international. So it's like, yo, their propaganda is so fine-tuned and combed and whatnot that like, for from the like 50s all the way to like the 90s, a lot of their scenes in their movies were just recreation, frame by frames of other movies. They just changed the texture, changed the characters. You know what I'm saying? The same snake scene in the Aristocats is the same snake scene in the Jungle Book. You just didn't notice. You know what I'm saying? It's literally frame by frame the same shit. It's because they're directing the same messages to you over and over again, and they get paid millions of dollars to do that. You know. And that's why a lot of these random other things that like have people kind of glued to the screen all day, whether it's ESPN or Disney Channel, you know, for kids, it's like they're all owned by Disney, right? Because Disney owns the things that are going to catch everybody's attention so they could send people more messages for whatever they're propagating.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shit's deep, bro.
And I remember learning about that in high school, like sophomore year during, I think it was U.S. history, where they broke down about how much Disney owned. And earlier, it's crazy. It's crazy. Disney fucking owns everything. And when we're talking about the earlier we were talking about the dismantling of like famous and influential black
we were
in general. And if we really want to talk about it, like Serge was saying, you know, there are certain people who like melanin, it just doesn't happen to them. And if we talk about Walt Disney and all the evil that Disney still produces and has control over right now.
I never thought about that.
It's just like, yo, Walt Disney was an evil.
Is there gonna be a Me Too for Walt Disney?
I mean, they're gonna have to melt him. They're gonna melt him out.
And the fact that it's still so like how children are so
oh my gosh,
like captivated
no matter what.
Well, you got the little twinkles and
I mean, they research and look up a lot of like the symbolism in there, the colors they use, the type of jingles they have, the frequencies. For real, like they know, they're like, okay, we know this color really pops. Just like the McDonald's and Burger Kings and Taco Bells, they all have specific colors and like logos. that's what they do. That's what logos are technically for in like the industry and whatnot. Those logos have so much power to them that people don't even think about it. It's like the M side on McDonald's, like it's just an M side on McDonald's.
Symbology and symbolism.
Yeah, man, it's it's everywhere. Everything means something. Everything symbolizes something.
This is a good segue for me to ask. All right, if Disney is so good at getting people through like all this science and all this stuff, why does Chance the Rapper's album suck? And can we discuss that? Can we please discuss that? Like, cause yo, that shit sounds mad. That shit sounds mad Disney, right? I there was like probably 3, maybe 4 songs tops that I liked on the whole album.
You know what? I was pretty harsh on the Chance album too. But having a talk with my brother Tim Hall, nasty saxophonist, poetry.
Hey, shouts to Tim.
It showed me that I was being a little too harsh because we gotta really look at it, man. Let it age a little bit, man.
Okay.
The dude's rapping some good stuff, man. I think that's
he's in love. Not
different.
every man is in love the way.
Nah, but some of those songs were straight Disney songs. I'm like, bro.
Sometimes you have to listen to something more than once too, though.
True. I haven't even listened to it.
And like you were saying,
I haven't.
It sound like Kangaroo Jack. Like, bro, yo, I'm telling you, yo, it's wild.
Hey, I think it could have been. It could have been shorter. It could have
been.
What was that? 22 songs.
22 songs.
22 songs of the similar sound.
And there was 4 that were like really like.
When he dropped the album, it took me 7 business days to listen to a whole Prince album.
Well, he's taking a long time with them now. You gotta make sure they're good.
Yeah.
But nah, Chance had some great production on that album. I think that the rapping was a little lackluster, man.
Yeah.
It's like you could have rapped about your girl and being married, but have some wittier bars, bro.
Right.
Give us some more flavor. Like you had that acid rap in that coloring book and had so much just dynamism in the sound and the sonics. It's like, yo, like and you hear the it's like this one was kind of just like safe. It was like pocketed.
Very minimalist. Like, you know, and it's like it's just not his style, I feel like. I mean, you can't tell him what his style is.
I was gonna say he's probably growing into it. He's a dad now.
But it's like it feels too minimal, if that makes sense. Like too empty. Like you didn't even have fun singing this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I can hear that.
Yeah, and it's like there's certain songs like Sundown, that was a great one. What's the other one?
But no.
There was another one that was real good.
Isn't the title track? You don't like the title track?
I like Do You Remember?
Do you remember?
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
What's the one they talking about? The 5-year plan. 5-year plan. That's another good one. I like 5-year plan.
But you see, that's good shit, man. That's good for the culture. Those are good for the culture.
Yeah, those are great for the culture. But then some of the others are like, yo, really, bro? Like, this is like Timon and Pumbaa, bro. Like, really, bro? Like, stop it. Like,
but if you think about it, that's Chance's lane. That's his demographic. You know what I mean? Like, Chance, I went to a Chance show down by the seaport, and he had puppets on stage and shit. He had like a whole puppet show. It was like, it was for the kids, man.
It's a different crowd, you know.
His demographic's definitely like all age crowd. You know what I mean?
Because he has kids himself type
exactly.
thing. So he's kind of trying to be the
a
example.
dad and a daughter there.
Right.
Chance,
right.
So I'm not too mad at it.
Yeah.
We also, you know, you risk being the guy with dad songs,
exactly,
dad jokes, and you got your dad pants on. Hey, kids.
And you know what I mean? I feel like that now that you know the whole Cosby debacle happened, he got a lane. Like Chance got a lane. You know what I mean?
Right. Damn, Chance is America's dad now. What the fuck, yo?
Somebody.
It's not Steve Harvey, like shit.
Can we talk about
who is America's dad?
Like,
is it Denzel?
Well, Bill Cosby was America's dad, white or black.
True.
Like he was literally just America's dad. So it's like, who fits under
fits that bill, right?
Yeah, like.
Man, I feel like a lot of them like past innocence too. Like, you know, the people who played certain roles in shows like Uncle Phil and Bernie Mac.
Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Yo, when I found out how dirty Bob Saget was, it blew my brain. But I kind of messed with him more. I was like, yo, Danny Tanner's way too clean.
Entourage, I think he was in when he played some Bob Saget.
The crack addict.
Yeah,
was it Entourage?
He's like, have you ever sucked dick?
No, that was
Half Baked. Half Baked.
Oh, that was Half Baked.
I remember that specifically.
But he was in Entourage and he played some crazy dude.
Oh yeah, he was in Entourage.
Like he was like had mad woman and like
no, he played Bob Saget.
That's what it was.
Bob Saget.
Hilarious.
Bob Saget swears like a sailor.
Yeah.
He is wild.
Yeah.
I'm just glad there was nothing up with that whole American
Damn,
national.
America's dad. I don't know. That's a tough one.
It's not
How about
fun
who's
either.
America's mom then?
Oprah? No, Oprah's nobody's mom. I forgot.
feel
Oprah
like
don't
that
like
could-
kids.
She don't like kids.
Yeah, Oprah don't
You
like
like
kids.
kids.
Monique? Nah, Monique's everybody's auntie.
Yeah, that's everybody's
Auntie.
Bernie Mac's everybody's uncle.
Of
Right.
course.
Snoop's
It doesn't
everybody's
matter,
uncle.
Right. On different sides of the family, though.
Yeah.
Snoop is on
Bernie's
the
the
dad's
strict
side.
dad. Snoop is the
Snoop's
chill.
your uncle on your
Like,
dad's
you know what I'm
side.
saying?
Yeah.
Not like he smoked in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, Snoop might start taking that role, huh?
What, dad?
Yeah.
No, he's
Uncle
he's,
Snoop
he's,
is
he's
really
uncle.
Uncle Snoop.
He's always uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's tough.
Hey, to be announced, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let us know, guys. Let us know.
Word.
What you think?
Yeah.
Word.
Right. Shit. Right. Let us know.
America's
Fuck.
mom and dad.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be
So,
interesting.
this man,
Right.
it's almost about that time.
Yeah.
I just want to ask everybody before we close out, is there anybody got anything they want to share, or who they are, what they got going on, how they feeling?
I'll let Terry start.
Final thoughts.
Right.
Final thoughts?
Right.
Yeah. Let me see. This was all wonderful. This was amazing. You know what I'm saying? A lot's been.
Shout out to Mass Music Radio.
Shout out to Mass Music Radio, Shlomo.
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole thing's
Shlomo.
legit. I love this space. It's a great space for artists.
Yes.
A great space for the community. It's dope for people to come in and be able to do things like this. I totally suggest y'all come pop by and just check it out whenever you get the chance.
Support your
Yes,
local
sir.
artists.
Yeah,
man.
support your local artists. Listen to Mass Music Radio whenever you
Yeah.
get the chance. I just dropped a new single recently, Breathless, with one below,
Hey.
Claudia Uchiha. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to Binary Star. It's on Spotify and all streaming platforms right now, so you can check that out at borderlinemusic.me, my website, or at borderlineph, my social media. And maybe after everybody's done talking, if Shlomo's cool and we got time, we could play a little music on the thing too. You know what I'm saying? And close it out, so y'all can hear some,
Right.
some gems from my upcoming album.
Right.
Yeah, man. Most definitely. Ladies.
I was still thinking about it there, but yeah, this definitely was smooth. I mean, it's our first time, so that all the feedback you can give would be wonderful and great
Yes.
to hear for sure. Because feedback really does help you get things on track. So let us know. I appreciate having Serge and Terrence and Mur, Terry Borderline, I should say, right, and Forte. Hey. Because these people really are lit people. Everybody here has something that they're doing aside from their, jobs. If they have like a 9 to 5, whatever the case may be, we live life for real. So I will be releasing a music project. That's coming very soon. I'm really excited about that. And my social media is at Sing It All Sassy on Instagram. That's where I post most of my music. And then Facebook, Sassy and SP, if you find me, that's fine too. But yeah, lots to come in from me as an artist for sure. So definitely, y'all will see that soon enough.
Hey.
Oh, okay. Guess it's my time to close it out. I'm honored to be here just as a guest. I apparently we're live, so if my boss is watching, shout out to you because I definitely did not go to work today. I am actually feeling under the weather. It just happens that anyway.
Live does help.
Right.
If anyone cares to follow me on Instagram, at name is Melinda Got Melanin.
Hey.
And yeah, that's all I gotta say for now.
Yeah. Peace to all the peoples, you know what I mean? Love kicking it with my families over here. It's dope. I got some stuff out, Grumble Rap, Mixtape, the Impatient Mixtape. Check my IG, Forte1804. You can check out all the music. Just click the link in the bio. And yeah, everybody just give us feedback. Tell us what we did well. Tell us what we could have done better.
Yeah.
Tell us what you want to hear us talk about. And we could just get this going so we can all live, you know what I mean? Because they live and we should live too.
Who else you would like to see on here?
Boom.
We're always open to that.
Yeah, most definitely. And take care of yourselves. Speak well in your head to yourselves.
Manifest. This is the time to manifest, y'all.
Get yourselves right. You know what I mean? Let's not think about what we lack. Let's think about what we're trying to get in abundance. You know what I mean? Abundance. I've been practicing this a lot lately, so I want to take this and share it with y'all. thinking about I am abundant. You are abundant. You have everything you need right now. It's all about just bringing it closer to you. So boom, peace to y'all. Love, Mass Music Radio. Shout out to y'all, my man Shlomo, hooking it up, giving the culture this platform and this place, man. This is dope, bro. Check it out.
Peace. Hey.
Add math like Mad Max and Bloodbath. Cafe Bab, cups faster. Base of my blood lasts. This surpass like race when your turf class. Burn brass, every turn pass, that's that nerve gas. No mask, rhymes are dope, no need for eyes. Scopes to break your isotopes. Just a microphone to write a poem. Destroy the white spoke. Pine and soul to the grinding mode. You cannot buy a soul. Lock and load. If you rob to blow, watch your heart explode. Realizing it's reason for a reason to be. Reality is a fiction. The pretty picture ain't cheap. Been smoking your pot to business, boys, and piss in your drink. Everyone's fucking tripping, like one that's tripping is me. Old guy, young guy, skin is sun-dried, senpai, sensei, kuta, kente's, third eyes, laser, look, I got no misery, my history is me. Move your heart to the tempo of this beat, work. Every time I breathe, I'm brushing death off my sleeve. Every time I breathe, I'm brushing